man. Shout out to Dante's Boxing Nation.
DBN Nation, of course. Support DBN Nation. You're hearing it from Floyd Money Mayweather.
It's Terence Crawford, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
This is Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Hi, you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Woo! Hey.
If you know, you know, and we all know, Terence Crawford wants all the smoke. I mean, he wants the smoke so much that he literally turned to the smoke. His nickname is Bud for a reason. Now, interesting news came out today. Terence the Bud Crawford called out Canelo Alvarez. He wants to fight him at 160. At first, I thought he was playing till Bob Arum confirmed it. He stated that he's working on making that fight happen at 160 if Canelo Alvarez is willing to move down to that weight. So that being said, I read the comments and a lot of people are doubting Terence Crawford and his decision. They stated he's just bluffing, he this and that. However, me knowing Terence Crawford, there's no cap in his game. I could tell you that much for sure. So Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez mega fight is actually an interesting matchup. I mean, to think about it, Terence Crawford could win that fight. I will actually favor Terence Crawford over Canelo. Let me explain why. Floyd Money Mayweather was 36 or almost 37 when he fought Canelo when Canelo was 23. Now, remember Floyd Mayweather at 23 beat Corrales like he stole something. I believe that's the best version of Floyd when he was 22, 23, 24. And when Floyd was at 36 years old, he still schooled Canelo Alvarez like he stole something. He gave him a PhD degree, and Canelo Alvarez obviously didn't graduate that night. However, he probably got a bachelor degree. He learned a thing or two from Floyd. However, it was Floyd Mayweather's fifth weight division. And at the time, Canelo Alvarez, that was his bullyweight division. So if Terence Crawford does move up to 160, that will be his version of a Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo Alvarez fight, because that will be his fifth weight division if he fights Canelo at 160. And Floyd has the same attributes as Crawford. I mean, Crawford is the closest thing to Floyd Money Mayweather today. He's a switch hitter, and one thing we all know is that Canelo Alvarez is stuck in the mud with his footwork. I mean, he reminds me of Ruiz at the heavyweight division. Ruiz is a great counter puncher. However, we saw AJ dance around him in the rematch, and I could see Terence Crawford do the same thing. Obviously, Terence Crawford is the faster fighter, the smarter fighter, has better instinct. And one thing for sure, even though Terence Crawford will be moving up in weight and actually two-weight divisions, however, he will earn Canelo respect, especially with his power. I mean, Terence Crawford at welterweight stopped his last 5 opponents, and 3 of his last 4 opponents were undefeated. So that being said, he even stopped Jeff Horn when Pacquiao couldn't do so. I mean, Terence Crawford destroyed Jeff Horn. And yes, Jeff Horn lost to Pacquiao in my opinion. However, he did give Pacquiao a good fight, but Terence Crawford, he showed that he on a different class. That being said, I could easily see Terence Crawford outboxing Canelo Alvarez. I mean, Canelo Alvarez, for God's sake, I mean, he haven't fought a slick fighter since Lara, for good reasons. That's why he avoiding the likes of Andrade and Charlo in his division. He been avoiding those fights for 5 years now. And the only way Canelo Alvarez fights a guy from the coincidental list is when he's in such a disadvantage, like moving up two-weight divisions, etc., etc. And still, it's a 50-50 fight. Obviously, Terence Crawford is hands down pound for pound number 1 today. He moved up 3 divisions, haven't lost. I mean, obviously, Canelo Alvarez lost to Floyd. He lost to Lara, in my opinion, had a draw with Gennady Golovkin, and he avoiding the best competition out there. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford is calling every fighter around his division. including fighters 2 weight divisions up like Canelo Alvarez. So Terence Crawford is obviously pound for pound #1 for a reason, and making decisions like calling out Canelo Alvarez proves why he's pound for pound #1. He was the only guy that was willing to fight Errol Spence. He called out Lomachenko. He called out Pacquiao. And nobody wanted the smoke other than the truth, Errol Spence. So we'll see if Canelo Alvarez at least is willing to fight a guy like Terence Crawford, who's moving up 2 weight divisions. Obviously, Canelo Alvarez will never dare call out an Andre Ward. When he got asked about an Andre Ward fight, when he was about to fight Kovalev, he stated Andre Ward is a weight division up, even though he just fought at the same weight division Andre Ward fought at. So it just show you the different class and the different fabric and the different cloth these two fighters are cut from. You got one fighter on one hand like Canelo Alvarez is not daring to be great by fighting an Andre Ward and stating instead that he's a weight division up, even though he just fought at 175 his last fight. And obviously Andre Ward fought at 168 and 175 throughout his career. And Canelo Alvarez just fought at 168 and he just fought his last fight at 175. So it proves time and time again why Crawford is pound for pound #1. And I would actually favor him in that fight. So I hope that fight get made. I would love to see it get made. Obviously, Crawford will have a lot of obstacles because Canelo is the bigger fighter. Canelo Alvarez will be hitting way harder than all these welterweights because he's that much bigger. However, skills pay the bills. I mean, Floyd Mayweather nullified everything Canelo Alvarez did, and I think Terence Crawford could do the same. Even though, obviously, Floyd is one of a kind. However, I still feel that Terence Crawford has the ability and the skill to beat a guy like Canelo Alvarez in a convincing fashion. However, can he get them scorecards to announce him as the winner is a different story. I mean, obviously, Floyd Mayweather beat Canelo Alvarez every single round, and one judge had it a draw, and 2 judges had it close. So that being said, I will keep y'all upgraded on this news. Drop y'all comments on this matchup in particular. And subscribe below if you're trying to get smart about a minute. If you're trying to get dumb about a second, don't listen to these casual fans. We will be talking about this on Split Decision live next Sunday. So tuning in, call in, and all of that. I mean, click on the notification bell to get notified every time we post to go live, because y'all don't want to miss Split Decision once we go live this week. That being said, shout out to DBN, shout out to Dante for starting new media. Shout out to Dante for giving me the opportunity to post on his platform and to be continued on the next episode of Aki TV. But till then, follow Lunatune Boxing in the description box below. Peace, and we out.